You're tuned into Taiwan Grooves. Let's explore the local music scene. Hello and welcome back to the second part of our interview with Max, the band leader of Project Maximus. Max Welly is a classically trained pianist, violinist, guitarist, singer, and composer. He creates catchy pop rock music inspired by love. Last week, we discussed touring in Taiwan, finding the right bandmates, and building closer relationships through touring. Today, we'll focus on reaching out to festivals, building a portfolio, and creating recordings to send out. We'll also explore the knowledge he gained during the tour, his strategies of promoting, the songs he recorded while he was in the States, and new challenges he faces now. And without further words, let us begin. Now you mentioned playing in different venues, going for shows, finding places to perform, so perhaps like music bars, open mics, anything where they perform music. Have you guys tried specifically reaching out to festivals? Because Taiwan, as you know, has plenty of festivals. Like there's almost every month there's one or even two festivals. Have you tried reaching out and like building your way up to festivals that are just beginning, festivals that are established already, somewhere where they need people that are not the same names as every year?
Yeah. That's our goal. I don't know. We'll see how realistic it is. I've targeted about 3, maybe 4 different festivals that I want to do. But not all festivals are the same, right? And so these ones that I'm either applying for or reaching out to are ones that I think are very gettable for us as a sort of an unknown band. And they'd be willing to have us based purely on the quality of our performance over how large of a following we have.
Right.
And so that I think that's the first stepping stone. And then beyond that, then of course, there's some huge festivals in Taiwan that really draw lots of people and get you in front of a lot of people. And I'd love to do that. But for me, probably I need to figure out how to get to that point. I don't think I can just kind of shortcut it.
I feel like the bigger ones will be the ones who are looking at both performance and following, perhaps following even more. So maybe it's better to start with the 12 p.m. or something like in the afternoon or lunchtime. But in Taiwan, if you think about it, I've been to a festival and it's not like in Europe or the US where it sometimes starts at like 4 is the first artist or something. And you still will have quite a good crowd there. I talked about this before on the show, like Friday was canceled due to typhoon or something, so the headliners or some of the people got pushed to Saturday morning. So like it was officially starting at 1, but they get at 9. So you come there at 9 and there's crowds of people. Like who goes to festival at 9 a.m.? It's impossible.
Well, I've seen it too. Some people do.
So good. So I hope that works out. I guess I don't have any credibility or expertise, but I would just say apply to all festivals once you have, you have good representing video and some kind of portfolio.
Yeah,
you'll never know who will like catch you, and then you just Pokemon Arena. Yeah.
That's the tricky thing is as I mentioned, our most recent performance was the first one I felt was sort of good enough, acceptable. And each time we do it, I'll try to capture recordings of it. But yeah, if I could just have a perfect recording of our like best show and everything's ideal, then I have it and then I can send it out to everyone. But right now we're still working on getting to that point. And so then before that, then I have to ask myself, is this good enough to send off to places? I don't know. What I have is sort of the best introduction that I want for people to see. So yeah, it's a dilemma that I think about sometimes.
I mean, you're doing it. It's just a matter of time now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you got some nice recordings from the Hengchun performance, right? At least something.
I mean, yeah, I got recordings, but I didn't feel like our performance was the best.
Okay.
The latest one in Taipei was the first time I felt like it was okay, it was good. I can hopefully use this, but I still haven't gotten the finished audio recordings yet. I've asked for them. They should be coming any day, but until I get that, I don't know for sure. I have to hear it and then say, this is good enough. And then even then, I would say it was just good enough. It wasn't great. I feel like we're just reaching that point now after we have 2 more rehearsals and then we have this show coming up in a couple of weeks. Hopefully it'll reach sort of the great level for the band.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and then I will have to do my best as a performer for myself. And I'm going to be critiquing myself. Right now, I think I'm not personally doing that well because I'm paying attention to the band a lot. And once I feel really secure that the band is sounding the way they need to sound, then hopefully that will unlock for myself to really perform to the best of my ability, which I think is also going to be extremely important. Not sure if it's come through in all of our chats or not, but I feel slightly inadequate as a performer, particularly as a singer. And so I feel like I need to put 100% of my focus when I'm performing on myself and how I perform rather than thinking about other people and what they're doing. And so until I can achieve that, I'm not sure that I'll be good enough as a performer to sort of lead a band that's going to go places. And so that's something that's important to me. And I feel like I'm just about to reach that point where I can do that.
Yeah, now that you put it that way, it totally makes sense. And you just answered my next question, basically. So thanks.
There you go.
I don't even have to ask it. No, it does make sense. Once the band is very tight, then you don't have to, I don't want to use the word babysit, but kind of like you can focus on yourself more.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. It's not babysitting, but it's somewhat cueing people at different times.
Yeah.
And also I try to make notes of what was good and what wasn't mentally so that I can go back and we can talk about it. And so once we reach a point where I don't need to make those mental notes anymore, then I won't have to constantly as we play try to be remembering what's happening. And I can just focus on the playing and enjoying it and then focusing on myself as a singer. Another thing, going back to Hengchuan, I feel like I learned from reviewing the recordings and stuff was that I need to, I'm not going to drink before I sing. That's actually something that I used to sort of have as a implicit rule for myself. But then I kind of got lax about it on this tour. And I feel like my singing in Hengchuan was the worst of all of the shows. Even though maybe it should have been the best because I was getting warmed up with each of the previous shows. But my singing was just off. I also feel like another thing I learned, maybe this is too granular and technical for this show. I don't know. You can keep it if you want. But in sound check, I usually have always tried to get a sound check if I'm lucky enough to have a personal monitor so I can hear exactly what I'm going to hear during the show. I usually would try to get the balance to be the way I think it should sound to the audience.
Yeah.
Which is to say the way the music should sound, period. But I think learning from Hengchuan, I'm going to try to do sound check where my vocal level is a step above everything else.
Okay.
Because I don't want to have to strain at all to hear my own vocals. And I need to know when I need to correct it. And so it was a little bit of a mindset shift because I was like, okay, from now on, when I'm performing, I don't want to hear the music as I want the audience to hear it. Instead, I want to hear the music where I am front and center so that I can adjust myself very quickly. And yeah, so that was another thing that I think I learned from the tour, which will hopefully be very helpful moving forward.
It does make all the sense. Think about it. When you do sound check, everybody goes like, okay, we know how to play it, we do it. But it's very robotic. It's like we do this little thing just to see if everything works. But once you're in the show, people get into it. There's emotion, right? The drummer might go higher because he's having fun, he's doing it. Then everybody else has to kind of go higher. Then you have to strain voice and everything just gets louder. And I feel like that happens in Taiwan a lot where people, I really don't want to criticize anybody or anything, but sometimes they're not aware and it just goes so high that the drums go higher and everybody follows, that it just becomes kind of like very loud. It's to the point where it kind of feels not so enjoyable anymore, And I feel like that could be avoided if the person who's playing or whoever just steps down from the stage and sees it, how all the people hear it here, right? But yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, you said with the beer. That's interesting. We had this conversation with Kyle. You might know him. And from Electric Monk. And we talked about how, there's a perfect amount some people will utilize maybe a beer or two just to loosen them up. And it works very good for him. Like, he will get loosened up. He sings, like, he has a wonderful voice. Like, his range is just insane to me. So he will do that. But then I also have the same. I found that whenever I would play something, the alcohol would do the opposite. Like, it wouldn't help me relax, but it would be more like, I don't know, it just felt different. The whole energy and everything, it just felt weirder.
Yeah.
So I was wondering what made you to be like, oh no, this was not that good, and I'll just steer clear from it.
Yeah, it's not that alcohol is inherently bad for performing. It depends on the situation, and for some people it could be helpful. I don't have a problem drinking when I'm performing, except, as I was trying to specifically state, except when I'm singing. I think my vocals are affected by drinking.
Right.
And so, and it's to a certain degree. So actually, for the Electric Monk show the other day, I was drinking beforehand, and I feel like it didn't negatively affect me for singing harmonies. But when I have to sustain my voice for an entire set, that's where drinking affects me, because it makes me have to breathe a little faster. So that affects my singing, and then also it makes me lose a little bit of focus on the intonation and stuff. So that's what I kind of was getting at when I said I'd like to have 100% focus when I'm performing Project Maximus and not worry about the other band members. I think the alcohol would detract from that as well. I would lose a little bit of that focus of hitting my vocals on point and hitting whatever else I'm doing.
Yeah, you should relax the care.
Yeah.
All right. Would you mind describing the 2 songs that you recorded over the summer and tell us about them? And if possible, we could put them in for the listeners. Okay. Because my next question follow-up will be some kind of promoting of your music.
Yeah.
So what specific strategy? Because we talked about this before, and now it's going to be relevant, very relevant for the 2 songs.
Yeah, I'll address the last part first, which is that I do feel like I'm reaching a point where I'm going to be a little lost now, because I don't know exactly what to do over the next 3 months, 6 months, or whatever. Until reaching here, I've always felt like it was a clear path. Like, okay, my music needs to be polished, get the charts done, get the lyrics done, and then find the band members who want to learn these songs and then share it with them. Developing relationships with venues locally that I can perform at, just small things. Recording as well, I think, is something that I know how to do and can do well. So we can create good recordings, we can have good performances, but then how do we get to the next level, which would be bigger venues, bigger stages, larger audience? And that's sort of an unknown now. And I'm happy to finally be at this point where I think I have the band ready. We're about to reach sort of that level where we're ready to do good shows, but then how do we get them? And then we're reaching that point where we can make good recordings, but then how do we get them in front of the right listeners? So that's something I need to figure out. I'm not positive yet how to do it. As for the 2 songs I recorded over the summer, like I said, they're not new. I think actually, in fact, you may have already played both of these songs on the show. They were just not like proper studio recordings.
So is one of them Rugo Meoni?
Yes, so we did that in studio. I'm in Florida. also did Someday You'll See in studio.
There's something about you I can never walk away. As this big world surrounds you, gotta make sure you're okay. Because time after time, I will shield you from the light. As he shows up late, it takes you on home with a smile and an excuse every night. But I know someday you'll see me when you choose to open your eyes. The world says you're out of my league. I don't care, I'm still willing to wait for the rest of my life. We'll never work 'cause we're too good of friends, you might say. But I hope my love's my best friend at the end of the day.
They're both songs that have been sort of in the rotation for us in our shows.
Sorry, I
And-
refer to them as new because I thought it's something I have not
Yeah.
heard
Yeah.
on the show yet. But now you.
But now I finally have them in a format, in a recording that I think really conveys sort of the feel. And I think they sound pretty awesome, if I say so myself. So I have those two songs, and then I have Because of You, which maybe you put on the show too. Because of You, I think it's the most popular recording that I have, but I've never actually published it anywhere, other than having a YouTube video about it. I've never published this. So I was planning to package these 3 songs
Yeah.
as an EP
Mhm.
and then release them at some point. I was thinking of doing it last month, and then I just kind of procrastinated, and I don't really know what it means to release an EP in today's music world. I don't know, like, what do I need to do? I have the distributor, I have the recordings done, so I mean, I know how to physically put them on all the platforms,
Mhm.
but I don't know what I'm supposed to do promotion-wise, if I'm supposed to have a show. I mean, like, some of that doesn't really matter these days. There's a lot of really big artists who don't even do shows, who release music once a week and, just digitally. And so, I mean, they're not doing EP release
There's
shows. I don't know what.
There's no
what it
code, I
means.
guess.
Yeah. So I have these 3 songs. I've named the EP, and I'm ready to release it at some point, but I don't really know when. I've been trying to figure out. So I don't know. Maybe I'll time it with the show in March. That's what I'm thinking now, and I'll try to start doing promotion for it.
Mhm.
But I still don't know what it means exactly.
What it means to you, it's I don't know. I from a listener's perspective, I wouldn't care if people would release it as an album, as a song, or anything. I mean, to some people it might matter. For me, it doesn't really matter, because if I listen to an album, there's very little chance I'll like every single song.
Mhm.
So it'll end up being in my mix anyway.
Mhm. Right.
So I don't know. I don't mean to discourage you, but also
Yeah.
to like not put like, we don't mind as listeners sometimes.
Yeah.
There's a good song, it's
Yeah.
gonna be in my
Yeah.
playlist.
Yeah. Project Maximus, we also added a new song for the tour. It's not a new song though, it's one of my old songs, but I never recorded it in studio, and I hadn't been playing it, the last year or so. But then I brought it back for this band because I felt like these guys would like it, and they do. So we've added that song, and then I mentioned I wrote a new song that we performed at the last show. It's not exactly a new song. It's an old song that fits our band so perfectly. So I was like, okay, we need to play this.
That I never heard
And-
for sure.
I'm not sure. But because it's out there online, so maybe you found it.
Okay.
But I felt like the English lyrics kind of stink. So I rewrote it in Chinese. So now it's a rewritten old song, but with new lyrics, and the band's playing it.
All right.
And so we have these 2. I also just recently wrote another song, which I'm planning to bring to the band at our next rehearsal. So we have these 3 new songs that also are not recorded previously, that we might start performing. And so I'm also thinking about going into studio, looking for that Josh in Taiwan. I'm thinking of bringing these 3 songs to studio. Actually, I'm already talking to the producer. This is down in Tainan. He's a fellow I met few years ago. So we might give it a go. We might try and take the band into the studio to do it there. So my thought is that I just had so much fun recording with Josh in Florida that I was like, I need to do that more. I can't just wait to go back to the US. So yeah, it just got me excited to focus on, or at least make sure that we get into the studio at some point. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe 1 or 2 EPs a year we'll release, so maybe 3 to 6 songs each year. That's what I'm trying to do.
So there you go.
Yeah.
There's some roadmap. There's some goals that you want to progress towards.
It's goals that I understand in terms of recording, but then I don't know how to like get to the next level after that. I'll just go ahead and open up, and whether I regret it in the future or not, maybe. But after our last show, Electric Monk, just a few days ago, we had a show. I thought it went pretty well, but I'm starting to realize, Kyle, lead singer, was chatting very honestly and openly with me and Ed, the drummer, afterwards, and it kind of made me realize, so he had some frustrations, and I think that he is in a place that I might be in 3 years, or some years down the line from now, where he feels like he has the band, but we're not able to take it up to the next level in terms of our playing and in terms of the places that we play and stuff like that. Sort of a dead end for Electric Monk. And I see that, and I don't want that to happen for Project Maximus. I have to figure out the roadmap to bigger shows and so forth.
It's tough, yeah. I think we touched upon this discussion with him, and it's just, what do? You have everything ready, and sometimes all it takes is for a band that is good, but they don't have necessarily the amounts of social media game that it takes, maybe. Because you know how it is nowadays. It's just tough. People, like, there are these advertisements you pay. There are people, like, having a good product is just not enough anymore. Yeah, it's just tough. Need to be throwing yourself out there, posting everything. People need to follow. People need to know you exist. And if you don't post anything for a while, they're just like, oh, this guy's not off mind. It just disappears. Yeah.
The last show, the show you came to for Electric Monk a few months ago, there were 2 audience members who came to hang out with us afterwards, and they really loved the music. And they were telling us we need to not play in those venues where they saw us play, and we need to be playing in like XYZ places, all like really great places. And we were like, yes, absolutely, we're on board, but how? And that's the thing that they couldn't answer either. They're like, oh, well, you should be playing there. If you know somebody, you should try to get a connection. But it's not like they had the answer or the way in. But yeah, they were just so adamant about, we love the music and it should be like here, here, and here. But it's very competitive.
Competitive one, and you need to, as you said, you need to have like a good recording portfolio, everything ready. You need to grow the following and connections as well, and then you can know the person. Oh, we'll play here. Yeah, because we are in Taiwan after all. And even though it's not that English songs will not do well, Chinese songs will probably do better. Right. 10 out of 11 times, So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's not easy, but...
Random thought I just had. This is a tangent, but it's something I wanted to share. At the Hengchuan show, so I had this is the first time this has happened to me. I had somebody come up to me before the show to tell me that she really loved one of my songs because of you, actually. And she was really excited to hear it.
Yeah, I'm flying so high, I can't hide it inside. Shouting from rooftops, I love my baby. I can't stop smiling cause I know you love me too. I'm walking on cloud 9. Since you said you'd be mine, all of my friends think I'm going crazy. I can't stop smiling, it's all because of you.
So that was the first time I'd ever had a stranger familiar with one of my songs. Like, so normally it's just people who I know or my friends who've heard me, and then so it was really neat to like have somebody that I didn't know come up to me and tell me about one of my songs. Now, then I felt pressure to like play that song really well, and in hindsight, I don't think I did. I think that the alcohol affected my voice, and it wasn't the best performance. So that's still driving me to make sure that I perform well. Yeah. And it's something that I've been trying to do. I've been trying to be a student about stage presence and a student of like how to perform as a band leader well. And so I watch Lily a lot. I watch a number of people that I consider really good at performing, and I watch them and try to learn from what they're doing, and then take notes, and then see where I'm coming up short, and I'm slowly trying to evolve. So yeah, that's.
It must have been a wonderful feeling.
But yeah, that was cool. That was cool. It was
prior to this, yeah.
It was great. And then after the show, when I looked at the recording and stuff, like, man, I don't think I performed it well. She's probably like, I used to like this song.
Jump down to apologize. No. The song still stands. Like she's gonna have it on her Apple, Spotify, whatever playlist. So that's good. Maybe last question. Yeah, you kind of answered a lot of these in a way, but I'll still ask you just in case you have something else to share. So if we look ahead for the near future, as you said, let's say this year or the next 3 years, what is one risk that you're trying to take, or that you're ready to accept and try out in the following time?
Generally, I guess it's just to not be afraid to fail. That used to be a big problem I had, and I identify it from my 20s. I was just afraid to fail, so I wouldn't try anything if I thought there was a chance I might fail. I was just very averse to that risk. Obviously, any normal person doesn't want to fail, so it's not like I just don't care anymore. But I think I've gotten over the hump of really letting that fear affect me. So when you ask that question, I don't know, I'm just thinking of like, if I get a big opportunity at a big stage, I will jump at it, even if I don't think I'm ready. And I'm also thinking specifically sort of about the language divide. And I feel very comfortable performing for English audiences. Most of my shows are at venues that are going to be predominantly expats or Taiwanese who speak English. I've only done a few shows here and there where it was like mostly Chinese speakers, and they were very small. So if I was going to suddenly propel myself to be on a stage of mostly Chinese speakers, but it's a very large stage, I think there's a lot of ways that could go poorly. There's a lot of ways that I could fail in that, but I'm willing to try, I guess. Yeah, and I'm still trying to get better at my Chinese so that it won't be a failure. But yeah, that's something that's what I'm thinking in my head when you ask the question.
Perfect. Those are some words of advice as well. And that's all the time we have. Thank you very much for coming back.
Thank you, Phil.